Hello again, it's Dave Morielli. This is part 4 of the tutorial making a graphene FET. We left off last time with just the 1/4 of the wafer populated, and I've populated all the die onto the wafer, and I've removed all the die that intersect with the outer keep out ring. Something that I should have pointed out before is that um, the so you see the corners of the wafers here. So the center line of the courtyards, the saw line, this is the center saw line. The red lines will be the expected edge of the die, and the blue line is the keep out area. All the contacts will be inside that line. So with this structure, it's easy to quickly populate a die plan by just stacking them up. And you just got to be careful that all the die or courtyards overlap just exactly. Okay, so now we're going to make some cells to help us make the graphene FET first. So the first one we're going to make, we're going to do a new cell, and we're going to call that cell contact, and this will be our metal contact. And we're going to use the key commands to get our positions. If you recall from the introduction video, my pad size is 100 micron square, and they're spaced 180 micron apart so that the wire bonder can get to them. So I'm going to make the contact with a courtyard so that I can stack the contacts together without having to do a lot of measurements. Okay, so the first we'll go to the contact layer, and we're going to type P 50, 50 for point, P minus 50, minus 50 for the other corner box. All right, so now we have contact, and now we're going to do the pad keep out area. So we're going to do P 90, 90, P minus 90, minus 90. Okay, so now we have a nice contact, and if you want to check your measurements, you can go to pads, select, right mouse click, and do the properties and look to see that you do have a 100 square micron pad and where it's located relative to the origin of the cell. All right, or you can use the measurement tool to see that the pad keep out area is actually 90 microns. So when you put two courtyards together, you get your 180 micron keep out area. Okay, escape to get out of that. Okay, so now we're going to make a new cell, and we're going to call this one gotta look for what I called it. All right, I got my template, and we're going to call this cell name graphene pad, and this pad is a template pad. I don't think I'll actually use it in a design, but it's really useful to making the actual graphene FET and the other test structures. Okay, so I'm going to make the graphene pad area 10 microns smaller than the contact, so that the contact covers the surface of the graphene and also the edges of it in order to get low contact resistance. So again, we're going to use the command. So we're going to call this P 40, 40, P minus 40, minus 40, on layer 3. Box. Okay, so now I'm going to put some guides on to help me lay as part of the template. So now I'm going to put a template, a contact outline to help me find where the edge of the contact will be in the layer above. P 50, 50, P minus 50, minus 50, box. Zoom in just a little bit, make it easier to see. And then also put the courtyard for the pad-to-pad spacing, because that's a helpful guide as well. Okay, so now we have our contact template. All right, so now we're going to make another template of the positive version of the FET, and that's going to look like this. And we're going to call this cell, new cell. GFET template. And we're going to say OK. And now we're going to go and we're going to get a cell. And we're going to go get that pad that we just described. And we're going to put the first one at the center of our new cell. And we're going to stack them on top of each other. So now I have a 3-pin. This will be the basis of the FET. This top one will be the drain, the middle will be the gate, and the bottom will be the source. Okay. And now what I'll do is I'll draw the drain source channel. So we go over to here to box, and just to, so the center of the gate is at 0. The center of the drain is at 180 microns. The center of the source will be at minus 180 microns. The edge of the graphene contact opening is 40. The edge of the actual metal contact is 50. All right, so we're going to zoom in here, and we're going to start drawing our graphene channel. And we're going to start on layer number 2 with the box command, and we're going to make a 1 micron we're making a 1 micron channel here that extends 10 microns past the edge of the contact. And then we're going to go here and select this, properties, and just make sure it's the right size. So it's going to be 180 and a half and 170, so it's right centered on the contact. And then we're going to copy this. and we're going to put it approximately in the center of the drain contact. And we're going to look at its properties, and we're going to see that it is in fact centered. Great. All right, now we're going to do the channel. Go back to the box command, and we're going to do, oops, didn't get quite there good enough. Here. Up here. And then we're going to look at our we can get this to be exactly 1 micron wide using our XY coordinates. Oh, there we go. 0.9. There we go. 1 micron. Okay. So that's our channel. And now we're going to put in some boxes to follow along. Okay, now so since these structures are really small, we don't want a lot of to remove a lot of material, so we're going to build a little island around this, and that's what these other templates are for, and I'm going to give myself a 10 micron guide. So we're going to go here to this contact outline and to the polygon mode, and this is at corners at 50. And I want to go out to 70. This is at 230, so it's 240. So I'm at 70, 240 is my starting point, and I'm just going to draw a little polygon around here where I want and then once you get to the back to the right corner, you center click to finish the polygon. All right, so now I've made my template. So now let's go ahead and draw the actual FET core. So we'll make a new cell. New cell. FET core. Draw. Let's go grab our template. GFET template. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to make some polygons and just copy everything we did before. Oh, my box. Let's see. I'm going to undo that and select the layer number 2. Go back to box. So now everything box. Box. Just going to copy all this. Okay. Okay, so now I've got all my traces copied. Now we're going to go to the 3 layer, layer number 3, go to the polygon, and then copy our outline here. Right mouse click, middle mouse click, and that finishes it. All right, so now that we've made our 2 structures here, I'm going to select my cell that I used as a template, and I'm going to delete it. Okay, now I'm going to go back to paths, and I'm going to select, I'm going to go to the top layer, I'm going to select this, all the graphene gate source, oops, escape, backspace clears your selections. And so now I want this, that, that, that. And now we're going to go up to the utilities. Okay, it didn't select, 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 select. 1, 2. Okay, so I have 5 things selected here, and I'm going to the utilities menu, the Boolean tools, and tell that to select. That is the A of the Boolean items. I'm going to select, oops, I'm going to select the funny looking polygon here as my B polynomial. I'm going to select top layer, and then I'm going to say Boolean tools A XOR B, and then delete A and B. Okay, so you see this gives me my core structure. The graphene and top dielectric and graphene already exist. And so what I'm trying to do is make little islands of them in the mask features. The black area is chrome, so it doesn't get exposed. The color areas get removed. UV light goes through, and the exposes the photoresist, so that photoresist, when developed, gets removed. So you can see that I'm trying to create little islands in a small little pond, little sea here. So this is the removed area, and this is the places that are going to be remaining. So I'm using, in a sense, negative space to create my structure because that material already exists. Okay, so now we have the core. We can actually go and make the FET now. It'll be pretty straightforward. Okay, so we need a new cell, new cell, cell name, GFET 1, photo 1. All right, so now we want to draw cell. Let's get our FET core. And we'll put it right in the center. Escape to exit out of the mode. We're going to get another cell, and we're going to get our contact. And we're going to center it in the middle of our pads. Okay. So now we want to put in our exposed graphene area so we can make electrical contacts. So we're going to hide the top contact for a moment. We're going to go to the exposed layer, go to the polygon or the box shape, and just put in the places where we want graphene to be exposed. And for the channel, most of it's going to be metal. So we're going to expose it. Okay, now we're going to relax, and we know that at 0, 0, at 0, we're right in the center of the FET. So we're going to move up to -2, and that'll give us a 4. Oh, we're a long way off here. Where are we? 0. There it is, plus, oops. All right, select, we did it wrong. So we want 1 micron. And we want it between, see what it does. And this is 59 and 60 properties. So it should be between 59 and 60. Move it over by half. All right. And we want to do the same thing for the bottom one. We'll go back to box. That should be at -2. Oh, good. Okay, now we've got the exposed graphene. Now let's put the contacts on. And it's going to follow that same, the same path. Okay, now we need our gate. And go to the select and just see that we have it in the right place. So it is centered around 0. Okay. So now let's just double check our graphene channel. It's 4 microns and it's 1 micron wide. And if I wanted to make it smaller, you can just adjust this distance here. And you have to do that on both traces, the graphene channel and the top contacts trace. Okay, so let's just take a look and see what we have here. We're going to turn off some of these guides. So we'll turn off this, we'll turn off that. So what we have here is the top dielectric and graphene. And you can see that all the area in green is going to be removed. And that just leaves this little channel here. So like a little well, it's a little island in this dielectric well. And then what next we do is we expose the graphene here and here. We expose the graphene, so expose the graphene here for the drain contact, for the channel, and for the source. And then we add metal for our contacts, and the metal encompasses both the surface and the edges of the graphene. Most of the channel here, except for this little bit here, where you still have the gate. Okay, so now that we've made this, we can go to our wafer. We can go to our die, excuse me, and we can say draw, cell, get our FET, and then we can go in here and we can place it at the edge of the courtyard. And see, it fits nicely. Escape. And let's go here so it doesn't light up everything. So you can see that we placed our first FET. And we can place arrays, however we want to do it, but I'll wait for that until we get some more structures. So now if we go to our wafer now, you can see that every wafer has a FET in it. And all we did was we did that by just adding one device to one die, and it just propagated throughout the design. Okay, that's good for this design, this tutorial. The next one will follow shortly.